Okay. Hello, my name's David. This is my speech, and here's my audience. They're all right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Liam, Eugene, Aura, Jesus, and Gina. So this is my speech. Okay, I'm gonna switch it up right here. Okay. So for today, my topic that I'm choosing is actually why I'm choosing to become an urban planner with an emphasis in architecture and sociology. And to start this off real quick, I kind of want to give an insight into what a brief definition of what urban planning is, because I'm more than aware that not a lot of people know what that means, because it is a field that's a little bit, unknown compared to like nursing, teaching, things like that. But an urban planner basically it focuses on city planning and the aspect of city planning and city design, right? And they bring their knowledge from different categories, whether that's energy, transit, efficiency, etc., right? And other respective categories as well. So you're basically just in charge of designing a city, and you're tasked with making sure it's as beneficial and as equitable to the population as possible. And one of the reasons why I actually chose to become an urban planner is because it honestly does challenge your brain a little bit, because it really makes you think in a creative aspect, and it makes you think in a way that you know you want to solve the problem at hand. So if there's traffic, it's like, okay, why is there traffic? Why is it this specific road? You know what I mean? And you focus on that efficiency and the overall beauty that makes a city a city. One of my passions is actually to travel, and so far I've been to 14 countries and 14 states. And one of the reasons I tend to do that is because as an urban planner, I want to actually um, learn as much as possible from cities across the country and across the world. So far, my favorite cities include Chicago, Istanbul, Amsterdam, and Seattle, to name a few. They're amazing cities. Their walkability is great. Their densibility is great. Their public transit is pretty solid. It's actually really great. And, these important aspects make a city that is more appealing to the overall population. And it shows that the people are actually intrigued to going to these places. And these cities overall rank pretty highly in terms of efficiency as well. So as you can tell, I'm pretty passionate about urban planning. I used to build towers since I was a kid. My mom thought I was actually going to become an architect, which is kind of funny because I eventually ended up going into environment engineering, which is completely different, because it doesn't really have to do a lot with urban planning. I mainly was doing it because it's lucrative, but I wasn't really passionate about it, and eventually ended up switching majors to sociology for my bachelor's, and then eventually going to grad school to obtain a master's in urban planning and a second master's in architecture. Mainly because to become an urban planner, you need a bachelor's in either sociology, geography, and economics. And unfortunately, a lot of people who become urban planners, they get a degree in economics, so they're more focused on the profit motive aspect rather than the people aspect, which is what I want to change. I went into sociology with my bachelor's because I want to put the societal perspective at firsthand, bring that to the table rather than like the money aspect, and make sure that the city designed is actually designed in the most efficient, equitable, and aesthetically pleasing way, to serve the overall citizens of that city. And I mean, city planning is pretty much everything around you. A street light, a park, a grocery store, a hospital, houses, entertainment, everything about that. Everything that you literally see every single day when you step out of your house, an urban planner was in charge of that at some point, and they decided to put that there for whatever reason they did. So it's pretty interesting if you actually think about it. My purpose of giving this speech is mainly to educate my audience a little bit on, regarding how dangerous bad urban planning can be. For example, we live in the United States, at least, we live in a very car centric society. And it's very unfortunate because it worsens our health, it worsens our community we live in, it separates us a lot more. And it overall, decreases our standard of living, which is something that I really, really want to change in the future. And it's definitely something we can strive in the United States, and I want to make sure that happens. I want to express my vision for a better world and making sure that a better world is possible through positive urbanism that benefits us all. It gives us greater choice. It connects our communities closer rather than divide us more. And it provides an overall cleaner and healthier environment for everyone at that city. So my main point is investing in public transportation. That's a big one because public transit is something that the United States actually deeply lags behind, and it's pretty embarrassing because we're the richest country in the world, yet we consistently rank abysmally in so many other categories. But for this one, we're just talking about transportation. According to statistics, also, the top 10 cities in the world with the best transit, 7 of those are actually in Europe, and one of them is just in the United States, and that's New York City. That's why I still believe New York City is the only real city in the entire country because it has pretty good, decent transit, it has good walkability, it has good danceability, and it's one of those very rare gems in the US that actually kept its identity to focus building a city around people rather than around cars. The US, for example, the US population is around 333 million. The car ownership per capita is out of 1,000 people in the United States, 850 of them own a car. And to translate that into bigger numbers, that translates to over 283 million cars to service 333 million people. That is an insane statistics, and it clearly shows this over-reliance on just one main method of transportation is just not efficient at all. Our roads are in poor condition. As a matter of fact, Americans have horrible opinions on the roads, right? Time after time, survey after survey, it shows that Americans do not like our overall infrastructure. And that's mainly because we put so much pressure on our roads because we only have one major mode of transportation. For example, in Switzerland, 1 out of 5 trips is on transit. In the Netherlands, 7% of all trips are on transit. These are all facts according to the Academy of Press. According to Statistica, this is a really interesting statistic that I saw. In China in 2023, over 100 billion people were transferred using public transit. And this boils down to around 33% of the entire Chinese population, which is, by the way, over 1 billion people. So over 33% of over 1 billion people use public transportation in China. Another point that I believe good urbanism is very, very important, and it's something that, I'm very, very passionate about, is because if you have good urbanism, it includes a robust and efficient public transportation, and this will overall benefit our health, right? CDC studies have concluded multiple times over and over again that the number one leading cause of death in individuals from ages 5 to 34 is actually due to cars and motor vehicle accidents. The World Health Organization has also come to a conclusion time and time after again that cars are actually a leading cause of cancer due to a lot of toxic fumes being released, such as fossil fuels that obviously come from car pipes and stuff like that. And it shows that car-centric societies are more unhealthy. It also, a physical aspect of that, when you rely so much on a car to get you everywhere and you don't move as much, that decreases your physical activity, which is putting you at higher risk for obesity, heart disease, cardiovascular disease, and many others. And the United States is actually top 10 in terms of obesity out of the entire world. So that kind of shows you a little bit more to how problematic bad urbanism can be and where it can actually get you. In conclusion, I think it's honestly super important to realize that the world around us is not something that we should just ignore or just walk by. It's not something that we should just, turn a blind eye to it and be like, oh, okay, this doesn't matter. I don't really care. It kind of does matter because it does affect you one way or another. When you're stuck in traffic one day, you have to think about it. Why am I constantly stuck in traffic? Is there a better way? Is there an alternative to alleviate this traffic? Is there a better way to, you know, not use my car as much. You know, it's hard because in the United States we have this love affair with the car, and we just cannot shake that off. We have the number one way of getting around is our car. Let's be real, no one really takes the bus because the bus is so inefficient. Trains are a joke because they really don't exist, specifically in, you know, the middle of the country. If you go on the East Coast, that's a different story. But I think it's important for us to understand that urbanism, even though it may not be your, you know, parte, it's something that interests me, and it's something that I want to, you know, improve on myself in the future, because it's something that I'm passionate about. Designing a city is a lot of work, and all urban planners deserve props, you know, for doing something as difficult as that. But I think there's also room for analysis to really understand that there is a problem that we keep doing, and our urban planners are clearly not solving that. And that's my hope in the future as a future urban planner and architect, to be able to um, address those issues to improve the lives of everyday Americans and hopefully other parts of the world that also follow in our same unfortunate footsteps. But yeah, that was my speech for today. Thank you so much. Bye.